Hi, I'm Jessica Bolton from Daily Mirror, and I'm here for Jess Saying Live, and I'm joined by two of my favourite I'm a Celebrity legends from 2015, Jorgie Porter and David Van Day, one of the most legendary villains of the camp of all time. Thank you both guys for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Hi. Good afternoon.
What are you making of the series so far?
It's completely different. It's a castle.
What do you think, David?
Did you notice? Yes, it's a castle.
No, but
well, of course, it's very different to the jungle. You know, the heat. The heat is a.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm enjoying it. Yeah, immensely. It's very good. And it's quite a strong lineup. I guess everybody's out of work, so they've got some quite big names, which is good. It's always good for the lineup. And with Shane, Russell, and Vernon, and of course Mo, and even AJ and Jason. Jason is come through there, hasn't he?
Exactly. There's some good stuff that has happened already this week. We just got a quick question just popped up from Joanne Gott. Would you both go in the jungle again? And I'm going to add to that, would you do it if it was in the castle?
I would say yes, and I would probably go full on, probably just be better. I'd just be better.
What would you do differently?
I think because I was a bit exhausted from doing all the trials in the beginning, I think now I'd realise that it's not that long in there. You can actually do it, and it does come to an end, because I just couldn't see the end at some point. So now I know it does come to an end. I'd just do it better.
So you put yourself in that mindset of, right, okay, just got to do it for 3 weeks.
It's not that long. Yeah.
Right. And what about you, David? Would you go back in? Because you made a name for yourself the first time.
Very difficult question. Obviously, the money would talk. Could I do much more? I could be much more horrible. Really, I have to rethink it. You see, I was pretty good for the show, so I'm told, but I'm not sure it was particularly good for my own career, because people really did take a lot of my stuff was tongue in cheek, but a lot of people took it very seriously, which is good. That's the idea. I wanted them to believe in it all, but of course, as I say, it then sort of pigeonholed me a bit as the pantomime villain, which is all the parts I got. The pantos that followed with the Ebenezer, the villain, sort of thing.
Oh, you did good then after.
Would you do something different this time round if you could do it again? Would you be Mr. Nice Guy in the jungle?
Well, it's difficult because who knows? The problem is, without drama, you really don't have much of a show. That's why you're listening to the soaps on TV. If you're just walking around your house and all you can hear is a screaming going on from EastEnders at each other from the screen, and it's what people seem to enjoy. You do need the drama. So I guess if somebody wasn't, I might just be devil's advocate and sort of and pick the drama up a bit, wind them up.
We remember Bedgate when you insisted on taking the bed, and everyone was appalled because Esther Rantzen should have had it. But I think, well done you, because you need that drama, like you say. Got a question here from Julie Buck. What was the worst thing about the jungle to both of you?
I would say the smells. You actually don't understand how bad things smell. Not just the people. Like, some people stink in there, but also the bugs. I think there was one task that we had to do where we were in a pool, and they told us later it was pig semen. That was on me for days.
Oh,
I know. Nobody realizes the smell.
No, you don't think about the smell. You think it's a fairly, because it's on a set as such, you think it's a fairly okay atmosphere in there. You don't imagine that it's as grimy as that, if I'm honest. You think it's probably been a bit sanitized, but it hasn't, has it?
Absolutely not. And now I go to duty free and buy all the perfumes I can buy.
Well,
David, what was the worst thing for you?
I mean, the difference is, of course, with the jungle. Well, I guess I suppose it is the bugs. You know, for instance, Mo fell out of his hammock the other day, but he fell onto quite a sort of dry, clean floor in the castle. Well, you fell in the jungle. You fell onto monsters and critters and all sorts of things. So you needed to be up high to try and get away from them. So you know, you needed to be in a hammock, or if you could get one, or even on the bus, which wasn't bad. Yeah,
exactly. Which you got yourself a nice thing on the bus.
And of course, the people. Of course, you know, if you get somebody. Yes.
If you
got the whole bus to myself, which was very funny, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's all down to the people you're in there with. I mean, this bunch that are in there now, they seem to be getting on really well. They're all quite friendly. Is that good, or is that going to get boring?
Well, I always think it starts off like that, doesn't it?
Well, I think Russell Watson is. Yeah, it depends. I mean, you know, it depends what the brief is. You know, you get in there, get your money, and get out without causing any troubles. And, you know, if people don't remember you, you've got your money, and you kept your career, fine. So, but I don't know. Russell Watson's got a twinkle in his eye, and I think he could be very mischievous, more so than Shane, actually. Although Shane was my favourite to win, and he probably still is, actually.
Shane's doing well.
And of course Mo with the gold medal. Shane is I would say is that, even though Jason's given us a lot of camera time, I still think probably Shane's probably in the lead of the vote tomorrow. I mean, I think it was Shane's to lose, basically. So we'll see what happens. I mean, so today I think probably Shane would win it. Who knows? Tomorrow it may change.
You never know what could. Also, when new people just come in, like Russell and Rufy, it's like it changes dynamics all of a sudden, doesn't it? And you're a bit like possessive of your friends that you've made, and then people come in and you're like, what these do?
It must be a bit like that. It must be very weird when you're in there.
Georgie,
you went in, didn't you, David? You were.
I was on the other end of that, Georgie, because I was the one that I came in.
Oh, you came in. You were a comer-inner.
With Timmy Mallet. So we got the I was a vibe. We got the bad vibe.
Yeah.
And Timmy's quite sweet, so he was fine with it, but I wasn't quite so fine with it. And so that's when I started messing with him. And demanding a few things, and of course that upset the apple cart, which is exactly what I wanted to do, to be honest, to get the show going. So I mean, it was just, I mean, there we go. There's me now, and it's holding court there.
Yes, I was interested. I was watching it then, like
hanging on to my every word, wondering what's he going to say now.
I was watching like an episode then. I got interested.
I was like a power mad egomaniac.
Yeah, well, that was your time.
I was like an egomaniac, a power mad, and all that. So anyway, it worked for 17 days. There you go.
It did work, and I can't imagine if you'd gone in there and not done that, not played that role. I mean, you don't. No one wants to just sort of fade into the background, do you? You both did so well and stood out. So many of the people who are just sort of trying to sort of escape underneath until
it's very difficult for some people.
I think sometimes as well, if it is too nicey.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do that really. You've got to get camera time.
If it is too nicey, even you in the camp aren't having a good time. There's no entertainment for the campers. Right. So when it all kicks off, it's literally like, ooh, right, it can happen. And you see the other people come in that they don't get on with, and you're like, oh, it's gonna kick off any minute. Oh. So you get excited yourself. Yeah, so you want that bit of disruption, don't you, really?
Because you've got no other entertainment in there apart from
some of the American.
Actually, going to go and
some of the American.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got another one coming here. Sorry, David.
Some of the Americans that come, superstars that come in. Yeah. Okay.
David, carry on. What were you saying about the Americans? We lost you on the sound for a sec.
Well, this year's no American superstars there, but you know, in many, I'm not sure who George you had in. Do you have some Americans in?
Yeah, Brian.
Who did you have? Any Americans?
Brian Friedman, yeah. There's another one.
Yeah,
they
can tend to sort of sell through it right to the end. I don't know whether it's because they get paid so much, but they're so different. But they don't tend to need to do half as much. I mean, Martina Navratilova, who I was with, a fantastic tennis player, of course, she sort of sells through it. Really, she didn't do too much. And the same with George Takei from Star Trek. It was in there with me. He didn't do too much either. But they just liked him at home. They voted for him. So some people need to work harder than others.
Yeah.
And I think I cast myself that needed to work hard. Like that hammer for a second without thinking there's a camera on, go and find one, go and cause some mischief, go and talk to a camera, get that camera time. Because there's people listening, they're picking up storylines all the time to you. They're like spying on you. So you've got to plant seeds for those because they've got to write scripts and take them back to the producers. So I'm sorry, I'm being a bit technical.
No, I didn't know about this. So if I'd have known that when when they asked you to go into the hut and they were like, so what's going on with this person? If I'd have known that was the storyline, I'd have been like, oh, right, yeah, I know. But I'd be like, oh, I don't know, my feet hurt. Or I'd be like, I just want to clean the dunny out, but nobody wants me to, so I'll just not do it. It's fine.
So you weren't as aware of the cameras and everything like that?
Obviously, yeah, you're aware of the cameras.
Georgie,
you didn't know
come on,
Oh, we're having a bit of a sound problem on David.
Georgie, the dummy, changing that. Is he? Oh, sorry. The dummy, of course, is the easiest job in the show.
Yeah, I'd heard that.
It's a smelly job, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's the easiest one I found.
Yeah, it's done once in the morning at night, isn't it?
Washing up in a jungle was terrible. It's the worst job. Horrible job, the dishes.
What was that?
Yeah, it's horrible.
The washing up was horrible.
You're talking about the dummy. So
I was doing that all the time, washing their underpants. And then they told me to wash underpants. They wash their own.
Well, you washed other people's underpants, Jorgie.
Yeah, I washed Chris pants.
Yeah, get them to wash their own. That's beyond a task. I think I'd rather do a bush tucker trial.
I didn't
Talking of bush tucker trials, obviously, one of the contestants this year so far that's really sort of shone is Jordan Knock. Because obviously he started with being ill even before he got into camp whilst he was doing the abseil. He then had to do the eating task. He then had to do the perspex coffin with the snakes and that screaming about his happy place, which is now already become one of the big things of the series. I don't know about you. I didn't really know him very well before the show, but I think he's kind of emerging as one of the main contenders now. Do you?
Yeah, definitely. I think he will come out this, if he wins or if he doesn't, just a more he'll be so much a better person as a new person because he'll have gone through so much. He physically threw up. I cannot believe, you can't fake that, can you? No. He literally is nervous and scared, which, bless him, he will come out a stronger man out of this.
Yeah, he's got the full underdog story going because he's just got those 12 stars last night. I think he could be a dark horse to win, definitely.
Yeah.
On the
well, he may be. Yeah, Jess, he may be a victim. It may be a victim of success because now he's not going to get the trials. Well, they picture people for trials that can't do them. The public, they like to see.
As a nation, we love an underdog, don't we? We love people seeing.
They like to see people hungry. The public at home. The dark sense of humour, the great.
I've got to say, on last night when they won all that, they won the stars, and then their prize was to get some squirrel for dinner, which didn't really sound very appetizing to me.
You can't eat a squirrel.
Oh. I know.
This is
oh no!
Wales is amazing, but the local food is I've had a squirrel in my kitchen in lockdown. I feel like I know its cousin. That is worrying.
It is, isn't it? I'd be like, no thanks. I think I'll stick with the rice and beans. I think you said that, David, didn't you? You prefer the rice and beans to the strange old meat that they give you.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. In the end, it wasn't worth having what came out of the sky. Yeah, it wasn't worth having what came out of the sky in the end. There's some tail of some animal.
Tail.
Ooh.
And some of it was all chopped up, and there was hardly anything left of it. It was hardly worth it. And after a week, see, the first week, no salt, no pepper, detoxing, fantastic, I guess, but I had a headache for a week. But after a week, it left me, and I felt quite good. And to be honest, I was quite happy with the beans and rice. I would have just I lost 1.5 stones when I came out of the jungle. I looked my best way, probably best for a long time. It was, from that point of view, it was terrific. And it was probably the only way I would be strict, was if have it imposed on me, which is what there are no Mars bars.
No
little secret tuckaways, it's true. You really are on.
You've got 600 calories a day or something, haven't you? Which
I don't know about you, David, but can I ask you this question? When you came out of the jungle, in Australia, there's a chocolate shop, and I ordered everything off that chocolate menu, and it was the worst decision I ever made. What did you want to eat as soon as you came out? What did you eat?
Did you hear that? What did you eat?
Me, was the fry up. The fry up? Yeah, I did the same mistake as you. You're like a pig. You come in, you see all these sausages and bacon, lovely eggs and toast, and of course you get stuck into that. And then when you get back to the Versace hotel, of course, you've got that huge seafood, which is fabulous. All these sea urchins you've never heard of before and so that was fab too.
Yeah. Obviously, they've already done their first eating trial, which we saw on Tuesday, where we were all wondering what they're going to have instead of the kangaroo bit. And it was sheep's bits, so not much better, to be honest. Now you had to do some awful eating trials. At Jorgie the crocodile peanut.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that tasted quite good. That was like a lovely meal. It was the live thing. It was the beach worms and the cockroaches that were alive in your mouth that you would. Oh no! I got flashbacks. Oh, it's a trigger. Did I eat?
I was gonna say, can you watch it? It was the way you had Lady Colin Campbell going. Oh, she'll do well.
She had such good manners that she used a fork to kill it, and I just couldn't.
But I'm back here.
I'm back.
I'm back.
So what did it actually?
Yeah, you lost me there for a moment.
Vomit. I'm so sorry, David. I'm sorry. But what did the crocodile penis actually taste like?
That was like dim sum. That was lovely. It had a lovely flavor, lovely texture. I'd have ordered that in a restaurant.
Oh, I don't know how you do it, and I don't know how they do it in like that. It's quite a task. What was the worst thing you had to have, David? Oh, can you hear me?
Do you know, on the food side, I did pretty well. If I'd been in... Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So for me, I did pretty well there. I missed quite a lot of the eating challenge. The big eating challenge would have been for me on the night before the final. And it was between me and George Takei, the Japanese guy from Star Trek, who was going to stay. So anyway, it was George Takei stayed. I went. And he did a fabulous eating challenge that night on the TV, but he still came third the next day. And Tony Blackburn, who's a vegetarian, refused when he was in the jungle to eat anything meat or grubs on account he was a vegetarian, and he won the show. So you don't have to eat those bugs necessarily to win the public over to end up winning the show. That's my point.
Yeah, exactly, because there's a vegan in there this year as well. Beverly Callard is vegan, and she still got some nasty fermented plums. But I mean, nothing compared to what you had to do, Jorgie. Nothing compared to eating a live worm, I feel.
Sounds terrible.
One of the we've got a question here from Holly Shaper Laurie. She'd love to have you both back this year.
Thanks, Holly.
Which is very cool. I actually think they should do some kind of all-stars series or something.
That's good.
I think
Thank you, Holly.
I've got another one here from Jane Vaughan. Jorgie, what did
the
you
problem
learn?
is they have said once or twice.
Oh, we seem to have a bit of a delay on something there. Dave, can you hear us? Let me just ask this one, Jorgie, because I was, what did you learn most from your experience in the jungle? Says Jane Vaughan.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, sure.
Shall I answer that? I'd say that things come to an end, and that you have to live in the moment, which I already kind of knew, but happy or sad, it will all come to an end. And I can carry cockroaches in my hand now, so if anybody's got any bugs in the house, I can do that. That's what I've learned. I'm not that scared of creepy crawlies. And that, I just think I had a really great time, and just go with the process, I think, of life, because it does end happily.
Do you still keep in contact with any of your campmates, both of you? No.
I kept in contact with Brian a lot when I'd go and visit America. I was at his birthday, and I was like, oh my God, I love him.
What about you, David? Do you keep in touch with anyone?
Well, Timmy Mallet was my little Timmy Mallet is always on the phone to me.
Oh no, we've lost David again. We seem to have some connection trouble. What the other thing I was going to talk about is obviously the boys on the show so far have been the ones who have got in the shower. It's very different this year because we're not going to have the shower scenes that we normally have from I'm A Celeb. But we have seen.
You want me to continue?
Hello, David. You there? Yes, please. Thank you. Sorry, I don't know what's happening because it was all fine before we started.
Yeah.
You've got some Wi-Fi gremlins have come in. I was just saying that obviously we don't have the famous I'm A Celeb shower anymore because we're now in the castle. But the boys have already been getting their kit off. AJ was first, then Vernon. What do you think about the fact that we don't have that sort of iconic part of I'm A Celeb this year? There's AJ.
Do you want to go, David?
Eye candy. Well, of course, yeah. Well, of course, Jorgie was, of course, when she's in the jungle, some big.
Oh no, what's happening? All right. I mean, Jorgie, when you were in there, you were pretty much recreated a classic Mylene class. Were you nervous about that, knowing that people were going to go there?
I think you just have to get in there and wash yourself because, like I said, the smells in the jungle ain't that great. Yeah. And you do kind of think, how do I wash myself, but with dignity? So you kind of have to go in, but it's really cold as well. And this time round, they said, Anne and Deck said about Vernon looking like Elf in the shower. And I literally saw that straight away because he's just so tall, so big. And the little tiny bathtub is like, it's like a joke.
I know, and you've got to be so brave. I mean, because everyone can see this, and is there a point where you do forget? Oh, okay, there's millions of people at home are going to be seeing that your pictures on the paper when you're just trying to get washed, and then suddenly you've got like a massive, great big picture of you. Like that must be really daunting.
It's a funny situation because when you're in the jungle, you don't see what's on the outside, so you don't see the newspapers while you're in there, obviously. So while you're showering, you literally are just like, I'm gonna shower, and you don't. Not that you'd forget, but you don't really think everyone will be watching.
Yeah. It must be quite daunting indeed. And one of the things about this year, of course, is that in the castle, there's rumours about it. I suppose
it's like going on holiday.
Oh, yeah, carry on, David.
You know when people go on holiday. And they go mad.
Oh, Well, we seem to. I don't know what's going on. It seems to have really affected you in the last few minutes, but we'll carry on, and hopefully, David, you can hear us and come back in a second. What we're going to say about is the castle is apparently haunted. Oh, brilliant! You're back. Which I think you've had experience of haunted places, haven't you, Jorgie? Would you go into a haunted castle like that?
Oh, I did celebrity haunted castle, and I got colds and feelings and scaredness. So to be honest, I don't know what's scary, the things that are creepy crawly that are actually there, or the things that are not there. Like, oh, it can't get any worse.
They all seemed quite convinced last night when they were playing the joke about having seen a ghost when Russell and Ruthie were playing that joke. I mean, they all seemed to like pretty much fall for that, didn't they? Apparently the crew are actually too scared to go into certain parts of.
I bet with the feelings and everything that's going on in the atmosphere, and if there's so many people and if they're all scared and you get vibes, I think it could be a haunted situation.
So out of everybody so far that's been in there, we've sort of said about who our favourites to win are. Who do you think is going to be first out? Who's made least impact so far?
Go, David.
Well, I hate to say it. I think probably we haven't seen much of Holly, have we? We haven't really seen much of her at all. So it'd be interesting to see. It's always interesting to see who does go first, how the public are going. But we haven't seen much of Holly, to be honest. We have Victoria, Giovanni, and Beverly, and even a little bit of Jessica. I think it'll be a girl.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll be any of the guys.
Yeah, there's quite a good like you were saying. There's quite a few alpha males that are really sort of taking over a little, not in a bad way, but that are quite dominant in what we're seeing on the screen. So you've got like Shane and Vernon. It's a good strong lineup of guys in there. Who do you think is most likely to shout "I'm a celebrity, get me out of here" on one of the challenges?
Well, Jordan hasn't said it.
Yeah.
He's not said it just yet, has he? But if we put him through really bad paces, I think he'll be first.
Are you going to be on the phone voting for some of these? Do you get that sort of
Yeah.
You enjoy it now? You're on the other side of it. You're like,
yeah.
Put them through their paces. We also saw last night that they got their luxury items.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who would.
Oh, carry on, David. You're trying to think who would. Can you hear me? Oh, last night they got their luxury items, and there was some.
No,
really
it's okay. Yeah, it's fine. Carry on. My luxury item was a. Yeah.
What was it?
No, you tell us you come through now. Sorry, it was on a delay. So basically, last night we saw that everybody get them.
Well, mine was a fly swat.
A fly swat. Genius.
It is genius.
Yeah.
And
very good. There's so many. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a genius thing to bring in. And what was yours, Jorgie?
Mine was mascara.
Was it? Because Ruthie bought mascara.
I fully regret that. I'd have wished I'd have bought a pillow or anything warm and comforting, a hot water bottle, anything.
There was a lot of crying over family photos and stuff last night as well in their luxury items. Yeah, carry on.
It's amazing how emotional you get in there, to be honest. And you see one picture of your family or a loved one, and you just burst into tears. It's just ridiculous. Even I'm not that, but even I was emotional. Yeah. It was crazy. You know, you'd see one picture of say your daughter or a loved one or something, and bang, you just burst into tears. It was crazy.
Yeah. See, I was a bit hard-hearted from the outside. I was like, "You've only been in there a few days." When Jessica cried on the first day, I was like, "Oh, get a grip." But I haven't been through that. So, yeah, you must feel so isolated a little bit.
But I think you go through the hiding as well first before the show. Don't forget, you're in hiding. You get your phone taken off you, so there is that element that nobody sees, and you're tormented, and you're taken in a Jeep with a hood on, and you don't know where you're going. So there's all that little scariness as well.
Yeah, so you've been through all of that before we even know of what's happening. Is it that feeling when you finally come out? You talked about what you enjoyed to eat, but what was it like to finally feel free again and free of the cameras all around you? We're paused for David.
Well, a bit lost, I think. I was a bit lost in the Versace hotel, which was quite nice.
Which these guys don't get this year, do they?
No.
Me? Okay, so
they've got a real
no, they don't get that luxury, so they'll just be going back to old honey.
They get the static caravan, don't they?
Yeah.
Well,
talk about short straw this year. Honestly,
having said that,
I would say the carpet, the Versace, feeling carpet under my bare feet was like, oh, this is the best luxury. And I literally was just like, with my feet on the carpet. It was amazing.
Yeah, I can imagine it being absolutely amazing. Now, the last things of like, who's your favourite? You've said who you want to win. Who is your favourite so far? And who would you like to see going to I'm A Celeb at some point?
I love, at the minute, I love Shane, I love Mo, and I love Jordan. So they're my three at the minute that are shining for me.
And David?
Yeah. Shane, of course. Mo, I think. Mo's going to be really funny tonight. Is it tonight where he does the challenge?
Yeah.
I'm sure I've seen a clip of it, haven't I?
Yeah, tonight we're going to...
I thought he'd be very funny, and I think he's going to be really hilarious tonight. So Shane, Mo, I think with Jason, he may fall back a bit, although they do like younger people to win these things because they can give them a bit of work afterwards at ITV.
Yeah.
So as Jason, and he's got that Radio 1 following. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I would think that it's a good following there for an ITV would like some of that Radio 1 following. So I don't know. Who would I like to go in? Who would be good in it? Gosh, I don't know. Who's our top entertainer at the moment? Wisms. I'd like to see Anton Deck in there actually, doing it for real. You know,
they'd be so vulnerable, wouldn't they? They'd be so like, oh, they have to like. Would they be together? Would they party? Would they sleep with each other in the bed? What would happen?
Oh, that would be excellent. I think we've come up with a whole new concept for next year. All Stars with Ant and Dec in there. I think ITV can pay us our royalties now. Yeah. But thank you so much, guys, for doing this today and for talking to us. And we're just going to end with a couple of very, very quickly run through a couple of our lovely quirky showbiz stories of the week that we've loved this week. We'll start at number 3.
Okay.
Just waiting for a little bit. No, we're not going to start at number 3. We're having a few technical difficulties today, clear all around. We're going to start at number 3. Which is Ruth and Eamon were on this morning, which was fantastic because there's been rumours that they are going to be leaving and replaced by Alison Hammond, who we love because she did I'm A Celeb as well. But we also love these two. So it was great to see them on there. And at number 2, we have Dot Cotton being voted the best soap character of all time. Great on Dot Cotton, but they had Mercedes McQueen was in the top 20.
Was she?
Jennifer Metcalf was in there.
Oh, how wonderful! She's loyal.
She is loyal. A little disappointed to see that the rest of Hollyoaks was robbed of the top 20. Jorgie,
don't even. It's my heart and my soul.
I mean, we don't know. I mean, who are the people voting for this? Obviously, idiots. That's all I know. Who are your two favourite soap characters of all time?
I have to say Hollyoaks people now, don't I? Because I love them so much. All the Hollyoaks people.
All of them.
All of the boys and the girls and everyone and all of them together.
Because just quickly before David answers on that one, you're back as Teresa McQueen, in case anyone doesn't know this, after your break. What's it like being back?
Oh, it's amazing. Obviously, COVID is different, so we don't get to see everyone as much, but it is like I've never left. I love it. I'm so happy.
Oh, and you've got a big storyline where you're being stalked by an unknown person that we know is Silas on screen.
Yes.
You're hopefully not going to get killed off, I take it, soon. Do you get frightened by that?
These are testing times, 2020. We never know, so let's hope not.
Let's hope not, indeed. And David, who's your favourite soap character of all time?
Well, Cotton's got to be one, because I mean, just for endurance. I mean, that lady can take one, do a half-an-hour show, hold it all on her own herself, which she's done in the past. At a very elderly, mature age, and to learn all those lines and to do that and hold us all and talk to herself, walking around that house, for half an hour or whatever it is, I suppose. With, it's BBC, so there's no ads, so it's a full half an hour. But it's fantastic actress, and of course, from Corrie, I loved. Who was the Hilda Ogden? She was
she came number 2. She came number 2 in it.
Anyone from Hollyoaks, David? Anyone?
David? Anyone that you particularly like?
You, Jorgie.
That'll do, thanks.
There you go.
And she's my favourite.
Obviously, has to be. Oh, you had some cracking characters in Hollyoaks, honestly, over the years. It was like the number 1 we had. Obviously, it's got to be an I'm a Celeb story, and it's one we talked about earlier about the crew being too scared to go in some areas of the camp, and about Jordan's amazing turnaround after proving he could actually get some of the stars. So yes, it's the Ghosts I Love. I just think they really add this year. I think it's a new level of fear on I'm a Celeb.
Yeah.
Thank you both so much for joining in today. We really appreciate it. Apologies, everyone watching, for technical difficulties. I don't know what's happened. Everything was perfect before we went on air, but there you go. Thank you, David, and thank you, Jorgie, and can't wait to see everyone again soon. So thank you.
Bye.
Bye, darlings.